haven't told many people this, maybe one or two, and even then I held back. It's not easy to explain without sounding completely detached from reality. And honestly, I'm still not sure what actually happened to me. But I remember it. All of it. And that's why I need to tell it. Because even if it wasn't real, it felt more real than anything I've ever experienced. I was 19. It was a late night, maybe 2 or 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I had this weird habit back then. I'd stand in front of the bathroom mirror and just stare. Not in a creepy way. I think I was trying to understand myself. Or maybe I just liked the silence of the house at that hour. The mirror had this strange energy to it. If you've ever stared at your own reflection long enough, you know what I mean. Your face starts to look unfamiliar. Not scary, just other. That night, something changed. At first, everything was normal. I leaned in a little, like I'd done 100 times before. But then, one of my pupils began to grow. Not like dilating from light, but expanding, unnaturally. I blinked, looked closer, and then it pulled me in. Not metaphorically, I mean literally. It felt like my body was collapsing into itself, like I'd been stretched into a thread, snapped like rubber, and crushed into a dot of light, then dropped into pitch blackness. There was no sound, no falling sensation, just gone. And then I opened my eyes, but I wasn't in my bathroom anymore. I was in a small room, soft light, a strange smell in the air, like plastic and rain. I was lying on a bed, surrounded by people I didn't recognize. My heart was racing. My mouth was dry. Someone said something in a language I almost understood, but not quite. And then I realized it took me nearly a year in that world to function properly. And yes, it was a world, a full, living world. Different architecture, different culture, different rules, but strangely familiar in ways I can't explain, like a dream built out of borrowed pieces from my reality. During that first year, I couldn't speak properly. I kept using words that didn't exist. I'd describe objects using names no one understood. People thought I'd suffered a serious accident or a breakdown. I was placed under observation for a while, but eventually I adapted. That's the weirdest part. After a few years, I stopped questioning it. I accepted the new language, the new job, the new people who knew me and cared about me. I had a partner, we had a child. I loved them both. It all felt so real. And the memories of this life, they began to fade. Not entirely. I still remembered the mirror, the feeling of being pulled through. But the specifics, my hometown, my sister's voice, the smell of my actual house, those began to blur, like trying to remember a dream weeks after you wake up. I lived that life for 30 years. We had struggles. We moved houses. My child grew up. I watched them graduate. I remember planting a tree in our backyard and watching it grow, season by season, year by year. I remember the sound of rain on the skylight in our bedroom. I remember holding my partner's hand and thinking, this is my real life now. I've accepted it. Maybe I was never who I thought I was. And then, one day, near the end, everything changed again. I was much older. My joints ached. I had gray in my hair. My child had moved out and was starting their own family. I went up into the attic one day to find an old storage box, something my child had asked me to look for. The attic was dusty and filled with forgotten furniture, books, broken electronics. Then I saw it, a small, unmarked wooden box sitting alone in the corner. It felt wrong, out of place. I opened it, and inside were objects I knew, objects from this life. A school ID, a cheap watch I'd worn when I was 17, a photo of my real family. And at the bottom, folded neatly, was the t-shirt I'd been wearing the night in front of the mirror. I stared at it for what felt like hours. My heart was pounding like it hadn't in decades. And then something clicked. I don't know how to explain it. I just knew. This box was the bridge, the crack in the wall, the glitch in the simulation. It didn't belong here because I didn't belong here. And that's when I passed out. When I opened my eyes, I was on the bathroom floor. 19 again. Same shirt, same mirror, same silence. No time had passed. I stumbled to my feet, breathing like I'd run a marathon. My reflection stared back at me, almost accusingly. I touched the sink to make sure it was solid. I checked my hands, smooth again, young, and then I broke down. I cried for hours, not from fear, not even confusion, just grief. Because even though I was back, I'd lost something real, a life, a partner, a child, a home I had built piece by piece, year by year, all gone in an instant. I wanted to go back, but I couldn't. Whatever pulled me through had sealed itself shut, and I had to carry the weight of that other life alone. At first, I thought I'd gone crazy. Maybe I had a dream so vivid that it felt like decades. But that didn't explain the calluses that remained on my palms, or the way I instinctively spoke a few phrases in a language no one here knew, or the gap in time that no clock could account for. I was never the same after that. My sister found me later that morning. She knocked once, then pushed the door open. I remember her asking if I was okay. I think she could tell something had changed. I didn't answer right away. I was still trying to remember how to say her name without it feeling foreign. Over time, I learned to function again. I went to college, got a job, built a new life, but I never forgot the other one. And sometimes, when the light hits the bathroom mirror just right, I see something in the reflection. Not my face, but my son's, the one I left behind. And in that moment, I wonder, did I leave him? Or did he wake up, wondering where I went?